Hello, mortgage fans. So here we are, the week we've all been waiting for. The insides of pubs are opening again. We can have meals inside permanent structures, and we can even hug one another. Are we going to see an outpouring of love like we haven't seen since the summer of 1967? I certainly hope so, but it certainly feels good for life to get back to normal again. But back in the mortgage world, as ever, a lot happening. So if we sort of dive straight into that, the first thing I'm going to share really is a blog that we went through. So I'll put the link into the notes. I had a conversation with a colleague a little while ago, and it reminded me of some of the very basic principles I learned when I first started working in a bank around how mortgage lending works. And that's sort of defined into three core principles, or sometimes called the three C's of mortgages, which are your capacity, the collateral, and your commitment. So I'm doing a series of blogs on each of those topics. The first one is capacity, or what we call affordability today, or in layman's terms, how much can you afford to borrow? So I've broken that down in a lot of detail. I'll put a link in, like I say. Please do have a read because even though I learnt that lesson back in 1999, nothing much has changed. The words and the style slightly changed, but the principles don't change. Lending money is one of the major things that humans have done over the last few hundred years to drive the economy to where it is, and those core principles don't change. So that may be of interest to you. If it is, please look it up. I hope you enjoy it. A bit more prevalent then is around house prices. We're seeing month on month records to be broken, so that's not really news. I think we're going to see certainly well into June and July, every single month, you're going to see headlines of record house prices, record growth. You're going to see that because we're now past the highest level of house prices we've ever seen. So it's just going to continue down that way. What was interesting is I looked at a report from RICS, which is the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors. They poll all their members, so the surveyors are actually giving these valuations, and they gauge things like sentiment, inflation, and other bits and pieces. So what was really, really interesting is in their report in April is that they survey all their members and they believe that house price inflation has grown to the highest level we've seen since 1988. So that's the pace at which house prices are rising, which is really quite interesting because those sort of inflationary trends, they don't sort of just come and go. As I say, they are a trend. So that means house prices are set to continue for the foreseeable future. Two notable things that came out of that report as well is what's fueling this rise in prices is really lack of supply. I believe supply is down 4% from being up 21% in March. So big disparities in the amount of people looking for property and the property available. So that's the most basic market economic supply and demand, isn't it? What's interesting as well is the numbers is of their members, 75% of their members believe that house prices will continue to rise, and that's up from 62% in the month previous in March. So all looking like guns blazing on house prices. And as I said, actually go back into last year, certainly with the amount of stimulus around the house market, stamp duty holiday, and credit conditions easing, I don't see house prices going down anytime soon. I don't even see them going down after the stamp duty holiday ends. They might plateau or move up very slowly. I can't see it going backwards because even though the stamp duty holiday is a big catalyst, and that's why we're seeing big growth now, what's the real fuel of it is credit conditions easing. Literally week on week, month on month, we have new lenders coming to the market. Lenders are being more competitive in criteria. So as credit becomes more available, it drives house prices more so than short-term things like stamp duty. Next main point then really is we want to hear from you. So obviously I'm here doing my thing. Hopefully you guys are getting some value from this. We would love that to be the other way around. If we've helped you with the mortgage over the last few years or any time really, if you'd be willing to share just maybe just a picture of you in the property and saying what we did, or even better still a short video like this, really short 10, 15, 20-second video of just what we did, how we helped. We would love to use this and share that with other people. Primarily we can learn from ourselves, but then we can share it with others. So hopefully if we share positive experiences and certainly look at our Google reviews and all the feedback we get, it's really positive. We'd just love to share that. So I know against our British Reserve nature, it feels very uncommon to stick a camera in your face and have a chat like this. But if you could do that and we're willing to share it, I'd personally be very grateful indeed. So with market rates then, so market rates pegged back a slight bit last week, been a bit flat over recent weeks and they're just coming down a touch at the minute, no material change, so we're just sort of seeing that sort of plateau off a touch. We are seeing lenders pricing coming down, not at the lowest levels, but certainly if you've got say less than 25% deposit, we are seeing mortgage pricing come down, which ties into what I was saying about credit conditions easing. It is getting a bit more competitive out there, so it's driving pricing down at those upper levels. If you consider where that plays in the very best rates available, it is 0.99% is the best rate you can get on a 2-year variable deal. Best 2-year fixed rate is 1.03 and a 5-year fixed rate is 1.21. And if you're looking at getting a buy-to-let, that starts at 1.19%. So usual caveat is around the actual rate you'll be offered will be determined on your personal situation and your deposit, but that's the very lowest rates up to the highest rates in the 95% area, which is around about 4%. So you'll be somewhere between those two brackets. Lastly, we've got an update for limited company directors, being one myself or just company directors more generally. On our YouTube channel, we've got a video of how that works. We also put it on there in the email, so please do look it up. It's on our website also. It's a brand new page. So if you are a company director, and primarily this is driven at people who own shares in the business, because sometimes the assessment for loans are different. So what we do in the video and on the website is just explain when those rules change, how they change, because ultimately we want you going to the right lender at the outset to make sure you get the best outcome possible. So hope you enjoyed it this week and look forward to catch up with you guys soon.